today's video, I want to talk with you guys about 5 habits that I'm absolutely leaving behind and quitting in 2021 that I will not be bringing with me into the new year. Hi there, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jessica, and here on my channel, we focus on all things mom life. However, everything we do here in my space does have a bit of a healthy twist, as I'm a holistic nutritionist and a nutritional practitioner. So today is Sunday, January 2nd, when I'm sitting down to film this video, and it's very impromptu. It's actually not the video I had intended for the first one of the new year, but I felt very called to film this for you guys. I prepped nothing, but I know exactly the habits that I will not be bringing with me. I've been thinking about this a lot over the last week, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and grab the camera because not everything is rainbows and butterflies. And I want you guys to know that while it is the new year, it's just another day and you can have a fresh start at any point. But it is a wonderful time to be introspective and think about the habits that may be holding you back from reaching your goals. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to be sharing with you 5 habits that honestly are probably not my best qualities, and a lot of the things that kind of weigh me down day in and day out. And I feel like if I can just cut those things off right here at the fresh start of the new year, I will feel better day in and day out. And I also will feel better about myself long term. A few weeks ago, I filmed a video all about habits. I will go ahead and link that for you in the cards up here on the formation of habits, how to create long lasting healthy habits. And here's the thing with habits. They are a marathon. They are not a sprint. And breaking bad habits, in my opinion, can be exponentially more challenging than forming new healthy habits. So that's why I'm holding myself accountable and sitting down with you guys today. So my first habit that I'm absolutely leaving behind and not bringing with me into 2022 is feeling guilty about asking for help. I struggle with this tremendously. I always have my entire life. There is something within my personality. I am a Leo. I don't know what Enneagram I am. I've taken the test, and every time I get a very, very different outcome, but I'm a Leo. I do tend to be pretty darn stubborn, and I like to do things a certain way. I have very high standards, and to a fault, I feel as if no one can do it as good as I can. And that is most definitely not the truth. So a wonderful example of this, and something that I did in 2020 when the first lockdown happened, is Kaya had me hire a video editor. So the video you are watching right now is edited by my video editor, and has been. 99.9% of my videos have been for the last 2 years. You guys would have never known the difference. I know the difference obviously because it frees up a lot more time in my life for me to take my one-on-one nutrition clients, and honestly, it just makes me enjoy the YouTube process a lot more. I love the editing process. It's beautiful, it's creative, but asking for help is critical, because if I bog myself down with so many day-to-day tasks, whether it's in my business, whether it's in my personal life, honestly, I come out feeling resentful. And that is one thing I have noticed in 2021. When we were moving, I asked for help, and it was extremely liberating. But there had been many times during the summer when either school was canceled, there was no power, there was COVID cases at summer camp among the teachers, and so the schools were shut down, and I would just attempt to work and take care of the kids and take them to field trips and do all of the activities, and I felt burnt out and resentful. So this year, I'm leaving the guilt at the door, and I refuse to feel guilty to ask for help. I've hired a few freelancers in my business. I already feel lighter and happier making that decision, and I'm just gonna depend on friends and family more on helping me when they offer so frequently, and I'm constantly turning it down. So maybe this is a good habit for you guys also to leave behind in the past year. My next bad habit that I will be leaving behind in 2021 is not sticking to the same bedtime. And the crazy thing is, in 2020 and 2019, more so 2020, I was actually really good about this, and probably into the first 5 to 6 months of 2021. Actually, it was the first 5 to 6 months. It was up until we moved. I was so good at sticking to the same bedtime in the same wake time. Then we moved, our routine changed, my business changed, things got a little bit busier, and honestly, I have been really terrible at sticking to the same bedtime. In my experience, when I reflect and look back at when I feel my best, it's when I go to bed around between 9:45 and 10:15, and I wake up between 4:45 and 5:15. That sleep schedule right there is perfection for me. I feel great when I can do that. If I can go to bed at 9:45, I typically wake up naturally at like 5:05 a.m. If I go to bed at 10, I do typically still wake up naturally at 5:05. And I love and cherish my morning time, but my bedtime has been all over the place, and that's been affecting my morning wake up. I've been hitting snooze and not even realizing it, sleeping straight through my alarm clock and jolting out of bed at 5:40, and I just don't like to start my days that way. I've shared so many morning routines. I will link a few of them up here, but I love and savor that time in the morning. It is critical to my mental, to my physical health, and my overall happiness level. That is really important to me. So sticking to the same bedtime is a critical element in this equation in order for me to wake up and have that ever so savored morning routine. I need to clean up my bedtime routine. So I'm going to be leaving behind some nights going to bed at 9:30, other nights going to bed at 11:30. Like that extreme of 2 hours of change within my circadian rhythm does not serve me. And to be honest with you, it doesn't serve any of us. So I'm gonna be getting back and really digging my heels in and getting to bed between 9:45 and 10:15. My next bad habit that I am going to quit in 2022 is scheduling calls during lunch. You guys, speaking of the last couple months being crazy, this is another thing I've been doing probably 3 to 4 days a week, and it has shown to be extremely problematic for my health. So typically I like to eat lunch right around 12:30, 1 o'clock. Like that's when I tend to feel hungry for lunch. But I've been scheduling calls during my clients' lunch and obviously sitting down and having those one-on-one calls, which is obviously critically important to our journey. However, I noticed that it was making a huge negative impact on me and my health on those days, because I would have back-to-back calls all morning. I would have that call during lunch, then I would have a few more calls, and I would have to run out the door and grab Sawyer, and suddenly it's 3 o'clock and I haven't eaten lunch. And then I found that was happening not once a week, not twice a week, not 3 times a week, but 4 times a week. And I need to absolutely set some boundaries with that one, because if I don't eat lunch, I'm on these calls, I'm kind of dazing out, I'm not sharp, I'm not feeling my best, and then I'm ravenous. So I'm eating an after school snack with the kids, whether it's sun butter and apples, but I'm overeating, and then I feel bloated and I don't feel good. So a really terrible bad habit that I have picked up, unfortunately, since August is scheduling calls during lunch, thus having me skip lunch. So I am 100%, okay, not 100, I am 99% leaving that behind. There are some clients who, unfortunately, sometimes I do have to take a call with them, but I will not book a call then from 11:30 to 12:30. I will make myself have a little bit of lunch a little earlier, even if I'm not extremely hungry, just eat a little something. That way I'm not stuck in this situation where I feel like I'm backed in a corner, I'm so hungry, and I'm overeating snacks with the kids at 3 p.m. My fourth bad habit that I will be leaving behind in 2021 is not replying to text messages. This is something I am absolutely terrible at. I've been bad at this for years, but I noticed I got really bad at replying to text messages after I had Sawyer, because I would see a text and I would either be nursing her or holding her, and I didn't have 2 hands, and so I wouldn't reply. So then I would open it, I would see it, and I was so sleep deprived and just like not in a situation where I could reply. I would completely forget, then weeks would go by and I would mean to text that person. I would open it up and I would see a text message that I completely blew off unintentionally, but nonetheless, I didn't give that person the respect to even reply to their text message. So then I made it a habit to not read text messages because I always said, like an email or Instagram DMs, I wish you could read a text message and unread it. Therefore, it would be a visual. For me, I need that visual cue to remember to reply to them when I have the time. So either in the morning or at night when the kids go to bed. I wish that they had that element on iPhones, but they don't. And I think that would be helpful for me. But when I think about it, when I really dig to the root of the problem of why I don't reply to text messages, and I've had this conversation with myself because it's probably one of my top 3 worst qualities. I never reply to text messages to people. And when I really think about the reason why, it came to me the other day. When I really sit down and think about the rationale behind this bad habit, I know what it is. The root cause as to why I don't reply is because if I have a quick 5 minutes, I reply to the text. Honestly, I feel as though now text messaging is like AOL or AIM, AIM, Instant Messenger. I feel as though we are now, unfortunately, all of us, myself included, when I text somebody and they text back, we all expect an instant conversation. But now that it's probably all of our main form of communication, I feel as though when somebody texts us back, we expect to be able to have a full-blown conversation with them, as if it's a phone call. And that pressure is the reason I don't reply to text messages. Now, the person sending it to me doesn't put that pressure on me. I put that pressure on me. So I just need to get out of that mindset that it's okay for me to text someone back. If they text me back then again, for me to politely say hey, in between meetings, I don't have time to chat right now. I'll give you a buzz later. Or, hey, hopping in the car to go to the post office. Don't have time to chat. That's okay to say those things and you're not going to hurt somebody's feelings. What hurts somebody's feelings is you waiting 2.5 weeks to reply to the text message. So I'm working on boundaries when it comes to many things in my life, but I need to set a better precedence to reply to text messages and then create clear boundaries of communication that if I can't carry on a full-blown 25-minute text message conversation, that's okay, and the other person will be 100% supportive of that. Okay, my 5th and last unhealthy habit that I'm leaving in 2021 is getting stuck in the outcome. So I do kind of have to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back because I feel like in 2020, I definitely was more stuck in the outcome than I was last year, but I've seen great improvement in myself with not just completely freaking out, future tripping and wondering what will happen if I do thus, or if I do X, what will happen. But with that, I want to continue to use that positive momentum to become even more dialed in to this. I really want to leave this behind. Oftentimes, so many of us never do something because we future trip and we worry so much about what the outcome will be. We don't start working out because what if we don't get the 6-pack? Or what if we don't lose the baby weight? So we never even start. Or we don't start the healthy diet because what if we make the wrong choice and we don't combine our macros properly? We don't do macros over here on this channel, but you know what I mean, right? Or if you go keto, you want to go keto, but you don't even start because what if you have that friend's baby shower that you have to go to and you know that you can't maintain your ketogenic diet there? So many of us, and myself, I think I'm the captain of this team, get stuck in the outcome. Therefore, we get paralyzed at exactly where we are and we don't even begin. So one thing I noticed about myself in 2021, I kind of had more of a, screw it mentality. Oh well, who cares? It'll be what it will be. But I do deeply suffer with perfectionist tendencies. And so that can hold me back in a lot of things. And so I'm going to continue to push myself. And maybe this isn't a habit that will completely stay in 2021, but I do want to continue to progress in the right direction of not getting stuck in the outcome. Because if I do those things, then I will be forever frozen exactly where I am. I try to check myself whenever I notice that resistance, or whenever I notice myself really worrying about how it will be at the end. I stop and I write it down and I read it out loud and I think to myself, okay, if that happened, how terrible would that really be? Would anybody be sick? Would anybody be harmed? Would it hurt anybody? Would it end your career? Would it end your practice? And if the answer to all of those things are no, I keep moving through. And so I want to continue to push myself, one, to do that exercise, and two, just to be able to remove those blocks even faster than I have previously, because I can find myself really getting stuck, worrying so much about the final product of something that it does most definitely hold me back. And I want to do things that I dream to do. If I aspire to do something, why don't I try, right? What's the worst thing that could happen? If I aspire to do something great that will bring me joy and maybe bring great joy to those of you in my community, why would I not try? And if it doesn't work and I fail, like, I failed at so many things in my life, who cares, right? Like, I can't be held back by the pressure of the outcome. And I hope that you guys feel the same way too. I talk about this a ton with my clients. It's that all or nothing mentality that really keeps us stuck in a place where we don't want to be, where we're constantly yearning and thinking of the next best thing instead of actually taking the action steps to get where we want to be. So those are my 5 habits that I am leaving behind in 2021. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I am so excited to celebrate and spend another year with you. I truly feel so energized and motivated every time I pick up this camera and every time I sit down and speak with you. Please know how eternally grateful I am for each and every single one of you who take the time out of your very busy schedule to watch my videos. It means the world to me, and I'm excited to bring you a ton of fresh new content this year. And I want to thank you so much for spending the time with me today. If you liked this video, it would mean a lot to me if you would give it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.